All right, guys, we know it's moving day because Vanna is on the dash. But today we have a long drive. We have about a 4.5 hour scheduled drive to a town. We're staying at a spot that's supposed to be a nice little hostel, which will be good because we will have some communication, because we need to know what's going on with these ELN rebels and roadblocks and protests and strikes and whatever else is going on. So we are definitely a little bit nervous and definitely on a heightened alert, but we're also out of time, so we really need to move, which is why we broke away from that beautiful place with all the birds and the river.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, the truck up here stopped in the middle of the road with his bed up. I don't know if this is where he's dumping rock or if he's broke down or what. Looks like they're doing a little road construction here. Hey guys. Lo siento, mi español es muy malo. I don't know if this guy's bed dumped or what accidentally, like the hydraulic line's broken, but the bed won't go down, so he's just dragging through the trees. That's a pretty crazy situation right there. Somebody else is coming through here. Looks like they're hauling a bunch of stuff. All right, here we go. It wasn't a critter, but it was definitely interesting, right, Snow?
Yeah.
The best we can tell, I couldn't really speak to him, the best I could tell is that the bed on the truck must have just dumped, like a hydraulic line broke or something, because he couldn't put it down. And I think he accidentally dumped a load of rock right there. And anyway, we're glad to make it through and get on the road. So much for wildlife sightings. This is a busy road.
With narrow spots.
Narrow spots. We've passed probably about 10 trucks already on the way in the last 5 minutes. Most of them are dump trucks. We've concluded, either rightly or wrongly, that there's probably some kind of quarry back there, meaning this would be a haul road where they're hauling rock out of here. That would make sense, but there was also some other delivery trucks and stuff going on, so I don't know. I thought that was a dead end, but maybe there's some construction or something going on back there. I don't know, but needless to say, I think our chances of seeing wildlife are diminished by all these vehicles, but that's okay. We're almost on the main road. We'll see if Snow picks up the drive or if she gets nervous and bails. So on the way in, we saw this. I don't know if we spoke to you about it, but when we turned down this road, there's a huge plant down here, and maybe you can see it over there. But in any event, it's like kind of weird in the middle of nowhere. It's this giant like manufacturing plant. I actually think they might make cement there, which is a big process, takes a huge plant, which is probably why all these trucks are running back there to bring this lime rock back in up to the plant. Now, I don't know what kind of plant it is. I could be totally wrong. It could be. We're not sure. We'll try to look it up. But in any event, it's a big plant, and we stumbled up on it.
It's especially interesting to these road building geeks.
Yeah.
If you're new to the channel and you don't know, in our past lives, we both were road builders. So.
All right, this is definitely something we haven't seen much, if any, of in Colombia, and that is concrete roads. Most of the roads are asphalt roads, and as we were trying to figure out what that plant was, I kept saying, well, if it's a cement plant, they'll probably have concrete roads, and they didn't. But here we go. Concrete roads.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
All right, man.
Buenos dias.
Good morning, man.
This is the Rio Magdalena. This is a huge river that flows down through Colombia, and I believe this is one of the larger rivers here, but a very important river, and I believe we'll be following this south. I don't know that we'll see it again. All right, guys, good news. I'm driving, and I got on this divided highway, 4-lane. It's a fairly flat and straight road, so that's pretty cool. The bad news is G's getting a little grumpy and chattering on us. So we've been on the road for about 2.5 hours, which is normally about his limit. But today we got to drive a bit more, so we're going to keep going.
So as we drive south, the elevation is getting lower and lower. We're getting into what looks like some fruit farming country. Banana trees, papaya trees, and we're passing some roadside little markets. It's a pretty interesting little drive, guys. Now way off in the distance we can see giant mountain peaks. So we just made it through a police checkpoint. It's the first one we've seen. They didn't wave us over or anything, just sent us on through. And then there was a cool little trout stand where you could buy fresh trout right there on the side of the road.
Actually, I think it was catfish, and we saw one back down the road, and it was kind of a strange catfish. Had more of a really flat head, and then it had some like stripes. So I'd never seen a fish like that before, but it looked more like a catfish with the whiskers and stuff. It was big.
All right, so we have found our next campsite on iOverlander. And anytime there is a WhatsApp or a website or a Facebook page, I reach out to them ahead of time. This time there was a WhatsApp number, and we do that because with the COVID, so many of these places have closed. But this guy's name is Raphael. He has answered back. They are open, they have room for us, and we are not too tall. So that is good news. We have a campsite confirmed.
We have.
So we just went over the Rio Magdalena again. We are definitely in an area where there is a lot of fishing. All these little restaurants seem to sell fish. I could see a guy cast netting down in that river, but there's no way I could have catch it on the camera while we were driving. So fishing is a way of life in this part of Colombia. And the Magdalena does seem to be the river that we're going to keep following as we head south. We keep crisscrossing it. It's big, it's got a lot of water, and it's muddy. Alright, so we've got pulled over at a police stop. We told them we don't speak Spanish. And we handed them our packet of paperwork, which has our insurance, our temporary import permit. They're kind of looking at it. They don't look too interested in messing with us, but you never know. Here comes a guy coming back. Muchas gracias. Buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
All right, our paperwork. It's almost like they weren't too interested in dealing with us because of our Spanish. So every once in a while, guys, that comes in handy, doesn't it, Kurt?
Look at this
Hola.
soup. So there's a nice bone with a little bit of meat flavor. Potatoes, broth. I can't tell the stuff that's in here, but it looks like a really rich, tasty soup. Potato. ¿Cómo te llamas? Mateo.
Mateo.
Con mucho gusto, Mateo. Me llamo Kurt.
¿Ella cómo se llama?
¿Mm?
¿Ella cómo se
Snow.
llama?
Es Snow. Es Snow.
Sí.
We've made a friend, Mateo. Hola, Mateo.
Mi amigo Mateo. Mateo, ¿tú hablas inglés?
There's Kurt's pork, some rice, and some cute little baby potatoes. But what is unusual about our meals today is that we've got macaroni.
Macaroni.
And it has a bit of a queso and some vegetables, and it is warm. there's my chicken leg. This turned out to be a good stop off, didn't it, Kurt?
Good. Very good.
Yep.
So we just had that delicious meal. It was less than 20 mil pesos for both of us, which is less than $5. So absolutely delicious meal. Time to get back on the road.
Hasta luego, Matea. All right, guys, we are about an hour from our campsite, and we just received this alert through an app we use that gets notifications from the embassies 4 minutes ago. At least 8 people injured on the Sangil Road up by Santander when an IED was detonated amid an armed strike by the ELN rebel group. Now, there are some other roads that are mentioned in this. I do not understand where these roads are. We need to get a look at a map. Unfortunately, we do not have very good internet connection. We're trying to get to our camp where we can see what's going on with this rebel strike going on nationwide here in Colombia. We have arrived in the little city of, I'm gonna say, Girodot. Spelled Girodot. Our campsite is on the other side of this town. It's at a hotel/hostel type place. We're almost there, guys, and we didn't encounter any of the problems from the rebels, so that is good. We will get to some good internet and kind of see what's going on with that. Okay, guys, here we are. We've made it to our camp. And looks like everything's okay. Nice. All right, you hear a buzzing noise in the background because the fans are on. We are settled in here at our campsite at the hotel, but it is hot. And I'm gonna go take advantage of the pool, which is one of the nice things about this campsite. See how that feels on my knee. First time I'm gonna go swimming with it. It's supposed to be a good place to do some exercises. Kurt's staying in the van. He says it's too hot outside. He's a wuss. I'm going out.
All right, guys, we made it to our park spot in pretty good time. And so this place was highly reviewed on iOverlander. The people who own it are highly regarded. They are not here, but as you can see, it's kind of a long, narrow alleyway back here to the back. We have power. There's bathrooms right outside the van. There's, I believe, they're cold water showers. We have a little sunset going on back here, which is really nice. But the main reason Snow picked this, well, really 2 reasons. One, there just aren't a lot of spots out here on iOverlander that she could find. But the main reason was she wanted a pool. She wanted to try do a little pool therapy with her knee. And so today, I don't think she videoed it, but today she spent a fair amount of time in the pool, and she was really excited when she got back because she was able to do some really cool exercises. Maybe she'll tell you about that. But anyway, as it turns out, this thing is this event center. And if you look at it, I don't know if you can see it in the dark, but they have sort of cool photo opportunity things here. Like, here's a really super cool waterfall. I don't even know where that thing is. But anyway, they have all sorts of props here. So you can see they have it set up for weddings, anniversaries, whatever the occasions. They have a ton of chairs back there. The pool, the photo places, plenty of places to serve food or have a bar. They also have pool tables back here. So in any event, I think this is probably a pretty cool little event spot. But what we understand is the owners are actually have a dream and or are overlanders themselves. We've heard that they have their own little camper. And so they opened this place up for overlanding. That's how we ended up here. Anyway, just a one night stay. Took the cats for a walk tonight. And yeah, another long day of driving tomorrow. Look at this limousine. That thing's pretty cool, isn't it?
So you saw in our last video that we saw an incredibly cute baby toucan. What you don't know is what we discovered a couple of hours after we saw the baby toucan. Curt, do you want to show them what else we discovered? Chiggers. If you are not from places where there are chiggers, they're these stupid, very itchy bugs that live on the tops of the grass. And they get you, and they itch, and they itch, and they don't really start itching till a few hours later.
And they got in my socks. So we were driving, and I was going nuts. By the time we got in cell reception and Snow Googled it, we learned what happened, and the damage was done.
Yes.
And we both got tore up pretty good.
I did good because mine didn't start. I don't know if you can see all these little red dots. I've done really good at not scratching mine because I don't want to take any chance of infection. Curt definitely got it worse than me. But yeah, guys. Oh, there's some. You can see them over here. See all these things? Stupid chiggers. So we had to do a clothes sweep, a shoe sweep, get some Benadryl and some cortisone, and no scratching, Curt. But it was a baby toucan.
It was a baby toucan.
All right. We'll see y'all in the morning.
Good morning, everyone. We had a good night's sleep last night. This place was kind of, at first glance, a little bit expensive. It was 70,000 pesos, which is about $18, $19. Now, it's more than we kind of typically have been paying in Colombia, but this came with electricity. And so we were able to run the air conditioner all night, which is absolutely great because we're in hot territories. So we slept very comfortably last night, and we got up early. We're on the road at 8. We have about a 4-hour drive. So one thing I wanted to tell y'all right away is when we got to our spot last night, one of the first things we did was researched this ELN sort of rebel guerrilla forces that are striking all around Colombia for the next 2 days, 3 days total. And I came across this site. This is not the first time they did it. They actually did it last year around this time. So we were able to find all the places where they struck last time and what they did. And fortunately, it looks like we are not going to be going through ELN occupied territory. Now, there is a point down towards the south that we will get near, but we will not get there within the next 2 or 3 days. So we're going to keep an eye on the road, but we're feeling better about this strike right now. We also talked to folks here, and no one seemed to have any indication that there'd be any issues here. So we're going to move forward. We're going to be cautious, but it sounds like we might be okay. So since we started driving yesterday and even today, we've crossed through a lot of toll booths, and the general price is about 20,000 pesos per toll, which is about $5, más o menos. And we've passed, I guess yesterday we probably came through about 3 or 4 tollways. And then today we've already been through one. I'm sure we've got several more to go through. I think we're probably spending about $10 to $20 a day in tolls. One thing that's consistent all over our travels in all of Colombia since we very first left Cartagena is road construction. There is a ton of major projects going on. We've showed you a lot, probably more than you want to see. But the reality is, everywhere we drive, there's huge road construction, widening the roads, adding more lanes, and it just really kind of feels like Colombia is in a growth mode. And so I think that's good for their economy or whatever. All right, we're coming through some rice fields. You can see how all the water's in there. This is clearly recently planted with the little sprigs of rice. And it looks like this field is obviously a little bit more grown up. But on both sides of the road,
Rice paddies.
rice, is that what rice paddies?
And somehow I think rice paddies, I think that's what they are. They're the sections. We will have to Google it. I don't know where that came from.
But anyway, they're growing rice.
If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you guys know when we put out new videos. And don't forget, you can always follow us over on Instagram to see what's going on in between videos. Cheers, guys!